Hey guys, how you doing today? This is that guy, and we are here today to talk about the new X-Men film, Dark Phoenix. Now, it's been a while since I've done one of these, and I've had a lot going on. I've been ill, so apologies for the delay for it. Anyway, when I went to see this film, my friend told me that it was apparently rated the worst X-Men film. I didn't believe that for a second. If anyone has seen X-Men Origins, they know that is absolutely not true at all. So I went to see this film with an open mind, and was as bad as what people said. Well, let's go through the film. If you haven't seen it yet, go and see it and come back to this film, or just skip to the last couple of minutes of this film. Okay. So basically, it starts off in 1975 when 8-year-old Jean Grey is traveling the car with her parents, and suddenly she starts out hearing these voices, and apparently she has a psychic blast or something, and the car gets destroyed with her parents in the front seats, and they apparently die. Where she's in the hospital, where Charles Xavier comes to her and says there's a school for her, and he says she's a mutant, she has these psychic abilities, and he can help her try and control them. So what he does is he takes her to school, but he gives her a mental block so she forgets the pain of her parents dying. Then the film skips to 1992, where the X-Men apparently are on good terms with humans, apparently, because the president calls them up when there's a distress signal in space. These pilots are apparently stuck in some sort of impending danger. There's this solar flare coming towards them or something, and a president calls up the X-Men, and Charles Xavier answers, "Yep, sure, we can do that." So he takes a group of X-Men. Storm's now part of the X-Men from the previous film. What's his face? Apocalypse, Age of Apocalypse, and also Quicksilver's now also part of the X-Men, and I don't know if Raven was before, but she's also part of the X-Men Mystique, as she's also known as. So anyway, they fly up in the spaceship. Oh, Nightcrawler's also part of the X-Men. Sorry about that. I forgot about him. So they fly up in the Quinjet. They're apparently traveling to space now, and Nightcrawler teleports Jean Grey and Quicksilver to grab some of the astronauts and take them back. But apparently, Jean Grey gets stuck there as the solar flares coming towards where the astronauts were, and apparently instead of destroying her, she absorbs the power. However, her mental powers become amplified by this, and the mental block that Charles Xavier put in her head is destroyed, and she remembers everything from her childhood and her hometown, Red Hook, New York, and she goes back to the hometown and discovers actually her father isn't dead. Her mother's still dead, but her father actually survived the crash. But he is the reason that she went to the school for gifted youngsters by Charles Xavier. He didn't think he could cope with her still being alive, having these powers, prejudiced against mutants, as a lot of humans are, I guess, apart from the president, obviously. So, the X-Men go to where she's gone and her hometown and try and get her to come back to the school. They go there and she starts doing this crazy shit with powers, and she injures the best character in the whole film, Quicksilver. He slows down time as he does in the other films, but obviously she's too powerful, knocks him out, can fly through the scene, and he's out the rest of the film until the very end, which really annoyed me. He's one of the best characters there are in the film. But anyway, I think what most people hated most about this film, though, is she kills Raven. She kills Mystique. Mystique is dead. Now, I know you think in Marvel films, dead doesn't mean dead, but, I don't think they're making any more X-Men films for a good long time, so Mystique, she's dead. Live with it, guys. And she also injures several police officers that turn up before flying away. Then she travels to a mutant refugee camp owned by Magneto, called Genosha. I think that's how you pronounce it. And she goes to see him about her powers, but he turns her away after a US combat military force comes down for her arrest, and she just completely destroys them, putting all the other lives of the mutants in danger there. He says, "Go, you can't be here." Then she meets a young woman called Vuk, who's a leader of a shape-shifting race known as the Barai? I don't know. But apparently they come down and they can take the form of anyone, but they come down and she talks to Jean. And she tells her the power she consumed in the space station, it's destroyed everything it's ever come in contact with, but somehow she was able to absorb it. And she starts talking to her about how powerful she is and how anyone who comes in contact, she wants to steal it from her and destroy her. Back in the school, there's Hank McCoy, who feels betrayed by Xavier's manipulation of Jean's memories. He finds out that he put the mental block in her, didn't tell the truth about her parents, and he sides with Eric, or Magneto, at the refugees in Genosha. And Hank and Magneto decide that Jean is too powerful and she needs to be put down. So the X-Men learn this and confront him, and they battle Eric. There's Cyclops, and there's Storm, and there's Hank, and there's Magneto, and there's a big old fight in this building. But Jean is overpowered by new abilities, and Charles enters the building with Scott, or Cyclops, and Jean attacks them until Charles convinces her to read his memories, allowing her personality to resurface. And so she feels, kind of bad. She feels remorseful, shall we say, and asks Vuk to take the force from her. However, as it turns out, she's actually doing it to become really powerful, and taking the force from Jean would actually kill her. So Charles and Scott prevent Vuk from actually absorbing the force from Jean, and Jean and the other mutants are captured by the US government and placed in a train headed towards a mutant containment facility. Now, I'm surprised at this because they were on good terms with the mutants, apart from Jean obviously. So why are they capturing everyone apart from Jean? Why are they capturing everyone? I mean, Jean they can take away. She's obviously a danger to humanity. But the other mutants, they were gone to terms. Maybe they, thought that all mutants need to be eradicated. I don't know. See, in the previous three films, first three, the humans were against mutants, and it all made a bit more sense. This film, different timeline. Previously, all the humans were on board with mutants, and now they thought they were, it just doesn't sit well with me. Anyway, remorseful Xavier admits to a very resentful Hank that he was right. He shouldn't have manipulated Jean's mind and lied to her. Suddenly, the train is attacked by Vux and other alien friends, or also, shapeshifting to look like humans. And the soldiers are overpowered, and the mutants are freed from their restraints to combat the threat. And there is an awesome battle scene. Storm's out there firing lightning, and Beast is chucking people around. Cyclops is optic rays. It's a pretty good, goddamn good scene. And anyway, the mutants take most of the aliens, and Buck arrives and heads for Jean, and she's just chucking these mutants around. She's apparently the most powerful one, it seems. Anyway, Charles confronts Jean with his mind, losing telepathic abilities, allowing Jean's personality to gain control of the force within her. Jean uses her powers to save the mutant from Vux attacks and ensuring the train wreck before proceeding to eventually vaporize the remaining aliens as they attack her. Vux, however, is still alive and once again tries to attempt to drain the Phoenix Force out of Jean, but Jean takes Vux into outer space. Okay. And retakes the power that had been stolen earlier before unleashing the whole extent of the Phoenix Force, killing Vux, and Jean disappears into a full potential unleashed, bursting into the form of burning Phoenix. Now after all this, Charles Xavier decides to leave the school, and the school is renamed Jean Grey School for the Gifted instead of Xavier's School for the Gifted, in remembrance of Jean and her sacrifice to save the world. And Xavier leaves, and Hank becomes the new dean, or the headmaster, as you would say. Xavier retires after decades of fighting for mutant rights and sits himself in Paris, and Eric comes over with a chessboard and decides to play a game of chess with him. They start playing, and up above there's a form of a famed phoenix passing by. Now then, this film, was it as bad as everyone said? Not in the slightest. It's not the worst film ever made. That award goes to X-Men Origins Wolverine. If you've watched the other X-Men films, this one is on par with most of them, I would say. It's not the best film in the world. It's not the worst. I mean, I was annoyed that the best character, Quicksilver, was hardly in the film at all. A couple of minutes in the first bit, and right at the end, as he moans at a student running in the halls, he might hurt himself. He's such a great character. That's what really annoyed me. They didn't use him to his full potential. But all in all, this film is not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. But go and see it and judge for yourself. I'll catch you next time, guys. Next film will be the last film, because I don't see any more Marvel films on the horizon. It'll be Spider-Man Far From Home. I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now. Bye 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 bye. Bye bye.